Testing. Alright, testing. Alright, your hazmat material incident response guide, curriculum guidelines, hazmat material technician with a specialty area competency. Introduction. Hazmat material specialty is defined in OSHA Title 29 CFR 1910-120 Q65. Q64 has not been with the National Fire Protection Association 4272. Since the initial 1989, based upon the task and analysis of the National Fire Protection Association with the concept of hazmat material technician with an additional specialty, either in the special hazard class, chapter focus on the National Fire Protection Agency, National Fire Protection Association 472 application specialty area, recommended National Fire Protection Association 472 2013 edition has material technician with specialty areas be trained to meet all the competency awareness level. All the core competency with the operational level, the competency with the technical level, all competency defined below with the specialty area. The 7 different specialties are defined in the National Fire Protection Association 472 2013. Tank car specialty, cargo tank specialty, air module tank specialty, marine tank vessel specialty, flammable liquid bulk storage specialty, flammable gas bulk storage specialty, radioactive materials specialty. Under OSHA, the hazard material specification, individuals responsible to provide support hazard material technician duties parallel to those of the hazard material technician. However, those duties require with a more directed specialist nouns various substances that may be called upon to contain hazard material specialist would act as the site liaison, federal, state, local, and other government authorities regarding site activity. Hazard material technician specialty shall be able to meet all the requirements first of the responder awareness level, the first responder operational level, the technician level shall meet with the training requirements of provided with the medical surveillance according to the OSHA, local occupational health and safety regulatory agency, U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, and is appropriate for the jurisdiction. Methodology recommendation training with the hazard material technician specialty area to be conducted with a various mix of the classroom instruction, either the traditional lecture, small activity approach to field exercising, involving group practice with the simulated emergency hands-on skill training with the doing actual control confinement, the containment evolutions, content instruction should be synthesized with the student activity requiring application for the risk-based process. Response process analysis, incident information, determine the plan of action. Skill training should be performed with the actual contained simulated release. You use the full protective equipment, proper response tools. Skill training should include the instructor modeling, student walkthrough, student practice, ownership of the competency with the exam for the critiques and covered instruction in essential field exercise a large group of incident assimilation optimal other than command structure practice of developing effective incident management skills. Pressure training should be focused on the practice of the warm and hot zone simulated with emergency should include competency retesting of all the response skills to the technical information updates. 3. The critical critique operational decision making using simulated emergency critique intermediate incident command system performance communication skills using simulated emergencies. Federal training requirements. OSHA 910-120Q does not address the competency with the technician area with the specialty. OSHA requires the hazard material specialists have some of the similar established found with the training requirements. Hazard material with the specialist level link for the training method of the testing not specified, but hazardous material specialist must have received training at the awareness operation technician level as well with the specialist level. Employers are required to ensure the employee demonstrate competency with the skills defined. OSHA CFR 1910-120 6-4 hazard material specialists. Hazard material specialists are identified with the responder provides support hazard material technicians duties parallel to those that hazard material technicians. However, those duties require more direct specified knowledge of the various substances that may be called upon with the containment. The hazard material specialists also act with the state liaison, federal, state, local, other government authorities required with the site activity. Hazard material specialists shall compete with the following area. The employer shall certify, they implement local emergency response plan, understand classification, identification, verification, known unknown material show by advancing survey instrument and equipment. Locum know the state emergency response plan be able to select with the use of the proper special chemical personal protective equipment provided with a hazard material specialist. Understand depth hazard the risk assessment technique to be able to perform specialized control containment confinement operation with the capabilities resource protective personal protective equipment available to be able to determine and implement the decontamination. So you have the ability to develop the site safety plan and control plan, understand chemical, radiological, toxicological terminology and behavior. Required training operations. Hazard material spec A. Give the simulated incident involving the hazard material specialist area of technical expertise to describe the steps implement the local emergency response plan. Give the simulated incident involving the hazard material specialist area of the technique expertise to demonstrate the understanding classification, identification, and verification known unknown materials by using advanced survey instrument and equipment that has material spec, give them a simulated incident involving the hazard material specialist area with the technical expertise, grad state emergency response plan, hazmat spec D, simulated incident involving the hazard material select to demonstrate use of the proper specialized chemical personal equipment, and hazmat spec E, to give the simulated incident involving the hazard material specialist area with the technical expertise to demonstrate the understanding in-depth hazard risk of assessment technique, demonstrate the provided technique assistance advice and assistance regarding hazardous substance present potential magnitude of the incident. Hazmat spec F gives a simulated incident involving hazard material containment, the release of the specialist area with the expertise to demonstrate specialized control containment with the confinement operation. Hazmat spec G gives simulated incident involving hazard material with the specialist area with the technical expertise to demonstrate the ability to determine and implement decontamination procedure. Hazmat spec H demonstrate the ability to develop the site safety control plan. Hazmat spec I define chemical, radiological, toxicological, and describe chemical, radiological, toxicological material behavior. Recommended training objective. The following training objective the recommended hazmat material technician specialty area training the source of the material of the National Fire Protection Association 472-3-2013. Chapter 2, competency of the technical and technician of the tanker car specialty. Chapter 13, competency of the technician of the car tanker specialty. 14, competency of the technician of the international tank specialty. 15, competency with the technical for the marine tank vessel specialty. 472, chapter 16, competency with the National Fire Technical Flammable Liquid Bulk Storage Specialty, National Fire Protection Association 472, chapter 17, chapter competency with the Technician Flammable Gas Bulk Storage Specialty. 7, the National Fire Protection Association 472, chapter 18, competency with the Technician of Radioactive Material Specialty. Recommended objective of the specialty areas of the following pages. 113, tank technician with the tanker car specialty. 122, cargo with the tank specialty. 128, technician for the intermodule specialty. 134, technician for the marine tank vessel specialty. Page 142, the technician flammable liquid bulk storage specialty. Page 148, technician flammable gas bulk storage specialty. Page 153, technician of radioactive material specialty to assist in his course of complying with the OSHA 1910 120Q6 the relations between the objective of the OSHA requirements are noted with the reference to OSHA abbreviated as noted. The tank 11 identify the object with it as UV guidelines and origin, the indicator of the origin of the objective of the usually National Fire Protection Association 472, 473, OSHA hazmat spec and indicator of the OSHA requirements object with support. Alright, your hazmat material technician with a tanker car specialty. Technician with a tanker car specialty, the person provided the technical support pertaining to the railroad tank cars, provided the oversight of the product, removal of the movement of the damaged tank cars, the action and liaison between the technician and outer side of the debris source. The technician are expected for the specialized chemical protective clothing, specialized control equipment. For note, the National Fire Protection Association, Chapter 12, the competency of the hazmat material technician with a tank car specialty is not intended to mandate with the hazmat material response team, must include technician with a tanker car specialty in order to perform the operation. So, for the incidents, technician operating the bound with the training listed in the National Fire Protection Association 472, competency of the hazmat technician able to intervene with the railroad instance. However, the additional competency to provide with the jurisdiction hazmat material response team, the desire of some of the all the technicians have a complete and in-depth the tanker cars. Hazmat material technician with a tanker car specialty should be trained to meet all the competency, the awareness, the operation, technical questions, level of competency level listed below as well. If the receiving to meet with the governmental occupational safety health regulations, reference the National Fire Protection Association 472, 2013, Chapter 12, the competency of the hazard material technician tanker car specialty, section 12.111, tank 1, analyzing incidents. Tank. Determine the type of extent of the damage to tank cars. Give the exam of the damage comes to the tank cars. Technically for the tank car specialty show the describe the extent of the damage of each of the tank cars as fittings and shall complete with the following task. Give the specification mark of the tank car reference material describe the car basic construction feature the point out the B end of the car. Give the example of the various tank cars. Point out with explain with the design purpose of each of the following tank components are present: the body bolster, head shield with the heater coils, interior, exterior jacket, lining, and cladding, shelf couplers, tank including shovel the head of the truck with a pin bowl with the underframe continuous versus stub sill. Give example of the tank car, some jacketed, some non-jacketed, point out with the jacketed tank cars. Describe the difference between the insulation and thermal protection of the tank cars. 116, describe the difference of the jacketed spray down thermal protection of the tank cars. Describe the difference between the interior, exterior heater coil of the tank cars. Give example of the various fitting with the arrangement, pressure for the down pressure, cryogenic carbon dioxide tank of the cars. Include each example of each of the following fittings. Identify the described design, construction, operation of each of the following fittings when present. Fittings, loading, unloading tank cars involved with the following: air valve, bottom outlet nozzle, bottom outlet valve with the top operated stuffing box, bottom operated internal external ball wafer sphere, carbon dioxide tanker car fittings, cryogenic liquid tanker car fittings, excess flow valve with the flange, manway valves, and so forth, liquid valve, vapor valve, ball versus plug type, and quick fill hole cover. Fitting for the pressure relief valve include the following: pressure relief with the carbon dioxide cover, the liquefied atmospheric gas with the hydrogen liquid tank, pressure relief devices, pressure relief valve, and safety vent combination, pressure relief valve stage, pressure relief system with the carbon dioxide car. Vacuum relief valve with a negative pressure and vacuum breather vent. Fitting with the gauge include the following: closed gauge devices, other open gauge devices, other gauging devices, T-bar, long and short bolt. Miscellaneous fittings include the following: manway cover the engine valve, bolted manway cover to protect the housing, sample line, sump, thermometer, well, washout, GPS transponders. Give an example of the areas for fitting the arrangement of the tanker cars include the carbon dioxide liquid cryogenic liquid tank with the following fittings include, but point out the location where the fitting is easily likely to reason to leak: air valve, bottom outlet valve, top open operated bottom outlet valve, the stuffing valve with the closed gauge device, the magnetic combination, pressure relief valve, flange, manway valve, and so forth, liquid valve, vapor valve, ball versus plug type, manway cover plate, hinge and bolted, manway cover to protect housing, open gauge devices, split tube, pressure regulated with the carbon dioxide, liquefied atmospheric gas with hydrogen liquid tanks, quick fill hole cover, combination pressure relief device, safety vent rupture, and flangeable disc. Example: lamp thermometer, well, vacuum relief valve with negative pressure and vacuum washout 110. We give the example of the following type of the tanker car damage, identify the type of the damage: corrosion, crack, dent, the flammable impingement, puncture, score, gouge, wheel burn, rail burn, tank 1111. Give the example of the actual simulated with the score for the gouge, wheel burns, and rail burns from performing each of the following tanks. 1111A, either the depth of the dimension, the depth of each of the score of the gauge, wheel burn, rail burn, and point out that each of the score of the gorge, gouge, wheel borne, rail burn cross to the weld is continuous and condition exists. Measure the depth of the weld, remove the angle with the point with the score with the gouge, wheel burn, rail burn, cross weld. They'll give an example of the actual simulated well where the gouge, wheel burn, rail burn across the weld, determine the heat affected zone have the damage. Give the example actually simulated with the dents and the rail burns, perform each of the following tasks. Give the dent gauge with the wrench for the raised curvature with the each for the dent and the rail burn. Identify those examples. Those include the structure and the crack with the point of minimum curvature. We give the example of the damage tanker car fitting. Describe the extent of the damage of those fittings. Give the example of the tanker car damage design. Describe the extent of the damage of the tanker car. To give the tanker car applicable equipment, the reference material, determine the pressure tanker car. Give the following of the pressure gauge, temperature of the contents. Give the tanker car the car's gauge device. Determine the amount of landing to it. Predicting likelihood of behavior of the tanker car and its contents. Technician of the tanker car specialty should predict with likelihood of behavior of the tanker car and its contents should complete with the following task. Give the following type of tanker car. Describe the likelihood of breach or relief the mechanism associated each with the cryogenic liquid tank of the cars, non-pressure tanker cars, pneumatically unloaded cover hopper cover the pressure tanker cars. Describe the difference of the following construction material used in the tanker car with the significant assessing tank damage: alloy steel, aluminum, and carbon steel. Design the significant selection of the landing capability of the tanker car construction. Some material that describes significant landing gliding with the tanker cars assessing tank with damage. Describe the significant drag of the tanker cars assessing tank damage. Describe the significant insulation thermal protection of the tanker cars assessing the tank damage. Describe the significant jackets radon thermal protection on the tank of the cars assessing the tank damage. Describe the significant interior exterior Hoyer coils on the tanker car and assessing the tank damage. Describe the significant each of the following type of the tanker car damage of a different type of the tanker cars assessing the tank damage: corrosion, crack, dent, flame, impingement, puncture, score, gouge, wheel burn, rail burn. Alright, describe the significant depth of score of the gouge of the wheel burn and rail burn tanker cars assessing tank damage. 121. 1211. Describe the significant damage of the heat affected zone of the well design of the tank car assessing the tank damage. Describe the significant critical dent of the tanker car assessing tank damage. Give the various type of the tanker cars. Describe the significant pressure and give the assessing tank damage. Give the various type of the tank. Describe the significant amount of landing in the tank assessing tank damage. Describe the significant flame and pigment of the vapor space of the liquid space of the lower layer of the tanker car. Tank 2. Replacing planning response. Determine the response operation. Give the analysis for the emergency involved with the tanker car. The technician for the tanker car specialty shall determine the response option of the tanker car involved with the shall completely following the task. Describe the potential risks associated with the equipment required with the implement safety precaution following product removal. The techniques for the tanker car. Flaring liquid vapors, hot liquid cold tapping, transfer of liquid vapor vent and burn. Venting the 212. Describe the inherent of the risk associated with the procedure for the equipment required. Implement safety precaution for the leaking control technique for the various tank car fittings. 213. Describe the effect of flaring vapor venting gas and liquid have the pressure for the tank of the flammable gas flammable liquid product. Describe the inherent risk associated with the procedure for the equipment required for the implement of the safety precaution of the living tank car. Describe the risk associated with the procedure for the safety precaution found in the operation setting, the release brake on the rail case shutting off the locomotive, give the fuel shut off with the battery disconnect, uncoupling rail cars, give the specification mark with the tank car reference material to describe the car's basic construction feature, implementing the plan response. Give the analysis emergency involving any tanker car's line with the response. The technician tanker car specialty shall implement the oversee the implementation selected response option safety safely effectively shall complete with the following tasks. Give the leaking manhole cover plate loose bolt the control leak. Give the leaking package of the following tanker car fitting the control leak, gauging device for the packing nut, liquid vapor packaging nut, valve packaging nut, top arbiter bottom out with a valve packaging gland. Give it an open bottom valve with the outlet with a defective gasket and the cap control the leak. Give the leaking top operated bottom outlet valve close the valve and completely control the leak. Give the leaking pin with the pressure tank with the use of the apple capping in the kit with the control over the leak. Give the following type of the leaks for the various type of the tanker car's plug and patch of these leaks. Cracks and spills over the tear of the puncture. Give the applicable equipment the resource to demonstrate the following flaring of the liquid vapor, the transferring of liquid and vapor venting. Give applicable resources of the performance following task. Set and release the brakes of the rail car. Shut off the locomotive and fuel shut off and the battery disconnect. Uncouple the rail cars. 319 demonstrate the bounding of the grounding. Proceed with the transfer of flammable combustible product with the tanker car. Other product with given off of the flammable gas vapors when heated contaminated. Include the following selection proper equipment establishment ground field the sequence of bonding with the grounding connection testing bonding grounding connections. Our hazmat material technician cargo tanker specialty.